If you find yourself here, reading or listening to these words, understand this clearly. It is not by coincidence. The universe does not waste its energy arranging empty meetings. You were not led here by chance. You are here because your spirit, in its quiet search, asked for direction. You are here because the wisdom of your ancestors has prepared you for this moment, and you are standing at the edge of something ancient that is returning. June 25, 2025 is not just a date marked on a calendar. It is a gateway, a vibration, a divine invitation. And only those who have begun to awaken from the illusion of randomness can sense the weight that this day carries. The world may continue to rush, to distract, to chase shadows in glass screens and plastic lights, but those with stillness in their hearts can already feel it. Something is aligning, something is forming, and it is not outside of you, it is moving through you. In the Shaolin way, we do not look at life as a collection of disconnected events. We see life as one continuous breath. And within this breath, there are pauses, sacred pauses, where the air seems to stop. And in that silence, a decision is made. Not by your mind, not by your desires, but by the deepest self. The part of you that is eternal. The part of you that remembers why you came. June 25 is such a pause. It is a divine alignment, a sacred pause in the flow of time when the higher realms lean closer to the human heart and those who are prepared can receive instruction. This instruction may not come in words, it may not come in dreams, it may come as a sudden stillness, a clarity, a tear without reason, or a fire in the chest that tells you now. What must change is not out there in the world. What must change is in here, in the way you look, in the way you breathe, in the way you carry silence inside noise. There will be many people who will pass through that day as if it were any other day. They will wake, check their phones, complain about things they do not wish to fix, chase desires they do not understand, and fall asleep again. Not just into dreams, but into forgetfulness. And that is fine. Everyone is walking their own path. But you, the one who is hearing this, something in you is not satisfied with forgetting. Something in you is tired of sleepwalking. Something in you wants to remember. And that remembrance is the key. It is the vibration that will unlock the message of June 25. God does not speak to the ego. The ego is too loud, too proud, too restless. God whispers to the soul. And the soul only hears when the body has been calmed, when the emotions have been tamed, when the mind has been humbled. In the monastery, we train for years not to become strong fighters, but to become clear listeners. Because everything needed is already here. The divine is not hiding, it is not far away, it is waiting for you to become quiet enough to receive. You may ask, what is it that will change? The better question is, what have you been delaying? What truth have you been ignoring? What habit have you been protecting because it hides your fear? What relationship have you been maintaining even though it drains your spirit? What voice inside you have you been silencing because it tells you to rise when rising feels uncomfortable? The change is not random. The change is not punishment. It is a mirror being held up to your soul. It is lies saying, this is who you really are. Are you ready to return? This is the test that comes before transformation. To be shown the truth and not look away. It is easy to pretend when the truth is distant. But when it stands before you, silent, unmoving, impossible to avoid, that is when your strength is revealed. The change that God brings on this day is not about destroying what is good. It is about exposing what is fake. It is about cracking the mask. The old structures within you, the lies, the fears, the borrowed beliefs, they must collapse if you are to rise. This is why you feel the pressure. This is why you feel something stirring even before the day arrives. Because your spirit knows. And the spirit cannot lie. It can be silenced, yes. It can be buried under distractions, yes. But it cannot lie. So if you feel anxious, if you feel restless, if you feel like something is moving that you cannot name, good. That is the signal, that is the beginning of awareness. That is the soul knocking from inside the prison, asking to be released. The warrior does not wait for the battlefield to begin training. He sharpens his sword in silence. He strengthens his breath before the wind arrives. And you too must prepare, not with fear, but with attention. Look at your life with clarity. What is true? What is false? What is essential? What is excessive? Simplify, clarify, purify. Because when the energy of that day arrives, you will either rise with it or be overwhelmed by it. And that decision is made now, not later, now. There are no coincidences. There are only appointments in disguise. This is one of them. Perhaps you thought you were just scrolling. Perhaps you thought you were just curious. But no, your spirit brought you here because it recognized the call. And now you must respond, not with grand gestures, but with presence. Clean your space, light a candle, breathe deeply, return to your discipline, not because something external demands it, but because something eternal within you is awakening. You are not late, you are right on time, but time will not wait. There are certain gates in life that open only once. If you are not ready, the gate closes, and you must walk the longer path. This is not punishment, this is rhythm, this is law. Just as the moon does not wait for you to notice its fullness, the gate does not delay its opening for your comfort. But if you are present, if you are aligned, if you are clean in spirit and still in heart, the gate will open and you will pass through. That is what June 25 offers. A gate, a passage from the life you are living into the life you were meant for. But the key is stillness. The key is inner quiet. The key is trust. God has never stopped speaking. The problem is we have stopped listening. We are addicted to noise, to validation, to urgency. But truth does not compete with noise. It waits in silence. It does not argue with lies. It simply exists patiently until we are humble enough to kneel before it. Kneeling is not weakness. In the Shaolin tradition, kneeling is strength. It is the ego surrendering. It is the mind bowing to the spirit. On June 25, the world will offer you many distractions. But within those distractions, there will be an opening, a silence. And in that silence, a voice. It will not shout. It will not beg. It will simply say, now. Oh, you remember. Now you choose. Now you rise. The warrior who is ready does not need more information. He needs alignment. You already know what must go. You already know what must begin. This day is not the source of your power. It is the signal to use the power you already have. And that is why it is sacred. Because it reminds you, you were never asleep. You are only waiting for the right moment to return. There are moments in life when the winds of energy shift. These moments are not created by man, nor are they moved by ambition or will. They are ancient currents, woven into the rhythm of existence, pulsing through time with perfect timing. These shifts do not arrive by accident. They are pointed by the higher order, the divine structure that governs all things, seen and unseen. June 25, 2025 is one of those days, not an ordinary moment, but a turning of the current. And when the energy shifts, everything that is not anchored in truth will be shaken. The weak foundations will crumble. But the strong, the steady, the prepared, they will rise. Rising is not a matter of luck. It is not something that happens simply because the wind is blowing in your favor. A tree does not become tall because the sun is warm. It becomes tall because it has roots that go deep. In the same way, the person who rises during a spiritual shift is not the one who prays only in times of crisis, but the one who trained in silence when no one was watching, the one who chose stillness over noise, presence over distraction, discipline over comfort. This is the way of the warrior. This is the way of the monk. In the monastery, discipline is not taught as something rigid or punishing. Discipline is love. It is the love of one's future self. It is the expression of commitment to something higher. The disciplined person is not hard, they are awake, they are prepared. They do not wait for the rain to fall before building shelter. They do not wait for the test to begin before studying the truth. And when the energy changes, they do not panic. They recognize it, they nod to it, they adjust their breath, and they rise. But those who are not prepared, who have lived only by reaction and not by intention, will feel this day differently. To them, it will feel like chaos, confusion, maybe even loss. This is not because the energy is punishing them. It is because their inner world was not in order when the outer world began to shift. You see, the external reflects the internal. When everything outside changes, it is not the change that hurts, it is our resistance to it. It is our attachment to what was, our clinging to the familiar. But the disciplined soul, the awakened soul, is not afraid of letting go because he has practiced detachment. He has practiced surrender. He has trained to meet the unknown with grace. You do not need to predict what will happen on June 25. You do not need to know the shape of the change. What you need is preparation. What you need is to return to your practice. Look at your life. How have you been living? Where have you allowed your mind to become scattered? Where have you let your emotions lead you like a puppet? And most importantly, where have you forgotten who you truly are? These are the questions that must be faced before the day comes. Because if you are not centered when the storm arrives, you will spin, you will fall into the noise. But if you are grounded, deeply, truly grounded, you will feel the wind and simply shift your stance. You will not be broken, you will adapt, you will flow, and you will rise. This is the essence of all true training. It is not about becoming harder, it is about becoming clearer. You are not preparing for a battle of the body, you are preparing for a moment of truth. The battle is internal. Can you hold your center when the energy moves? Can you stay true when everything asks you to betray yourself? Can you remember your path when the world forgets its own? These are not questions that can be answered with words. They are answered through action, through daily ritual, through how you live when no one is watching. This is the discipline I speak of, the silent discipline. The invisible strength, the kind that cannot be bought or borrowed. It must be earned. It must be cultivated like a seed watered every day without seeing results for a long time. But then one day the seed sprouts. One day, when others are looking for shade, your tree will be standing. Not because you are lucky, but because you are loyal. Loyal to your practice, loyal to your inner teacher, loyal to the path. So many want the reward without the ritual. They want the change without the preparation. They want to rise when the energy shifts, but they have not done the inner work to stabilize themselves. This is not how nature works. You cannot harvest what you did not plant. And June 25 will ask you one simple question. What have you planted? What have you prepared for? What have you silently built while the world was asleep? And maybe you hear this now and you feel regret. Maybe you think it is too late to prepare, but it is not. If you are hearing these words now, it means time is still on your side. It means you have breath, you have space, you have a choice. The way forward is simple. Begin again. Begin now. Do not look back. Do not wait for motivation to come. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Begin with what you have. Begin with your breath. Begin with your awareness. This is how all warriors begin. Not with glory, but with sincerity. Not with perfection, but with humility. The energy that is coming is not good or bad, it simply is. A wave is not evil because it crashes against the rocks. A storm is not cruel because it clears the land. These are forces. They move as they are meant to. And when the spiritual current rises, you must rise with it, or you will be swept away by it. The way you rise is by preparing now. Do not waste time asking what others are doing. Do not measure your growth by someone else's pace. You are on your path. You have your lessons. And the divine has not forgotten you. Every effort you make in silence is seen by the unseen world. Every morning you rise early to meditate. Every moment you breathe before reacting. Every temptation you resist not out of fear, but out of alignment. These small choices, these are the bricks of your inner temple. When the energy changes, your temple will either stand or it will fall. The outcome depends on your devotion. If you are waiting for a sign, this is the sign. The gate is opening, the shift is coming, but not for everyone. It will only reveal itself to those who are aligned. And alignment is not a costume. It is not a performance. It is not a look. It is a way of living. It is the way you walk through your day, the way you speak, the way you keep your word even when no one is watching. These are the marks of one who is prepared. And on the day of change, preparation is everything. 5 to 2025 is not here to scare you, it is here to elevate you. But only if you are ready, only if you are awake, only if you are disciplined, not with harshness, but with reverence. The energy shift is not coming to punish, it is coming to reveal. And when the wind blows, the unprepared will blame the wind, but the prepared will say it. This is your reminder, become the one who rises when the current changes. Not because of ego, but because of devotion. Not for power, but for purpose. Not to escape the world, but to serve it. You are not here to be passive, you are here to awaken. And awakening does not happen by accident. It happens through inner alignment and outer discipline. This is your moment to choose, and if you choose wisely, you will not fear the coming shift. You will walk through it with clarity, with stillness, and with strength. On the journey of life, we often think that holding on is strength. That to cling tightly to what we have, to keep people close no matter the cost, to maintain patterns and identities even when they weigh heavy upon the soul, that this is loyalty, that this is virtue. But there is a deeper truth, one that does not come from the surface of things but from the root of understanding. What you refuse to release will be taken from you, not because God is cruel, not because the universe seeks to punish, but because that which is no longer aligned must be removed for your evolution to continue. If it stays, it will rot. And if you cling to the rotting, the decay will spread through your spirit, and the cost will be your peace. June 25, 2025 is not merely a date. It is a sacred intersection between time and truth. On this day, what you have avoided will confront you. What you have protected with excuses will stand exposed. What you have attached yourself to out of fear will begin to pull away. And the question is not whether this will happen. The question is how you will respond when it does. Will you cry over the loss of what was decaying, or will you recognize the hand of the divine pruning your soul for new life? Everything that is not in alignment with your higher purpose must leave. Everything that is not rooted in sincerity, in integrity, in truth, it cannot remain. And so many of us, we pray for change, we ask for growth, but we are unwilling to pay the price. And the price is almost always release. Not just of people, not just of jobs or environments, but of ideas, attachments, beliefs that were never yours to carry, the image of who you thought you had to be, the identity that kept you safe but also kept you small. These things must go. When the spiritual energy shifts, the gravitational pull of false things begins to weaken. You will feel it in your relationships. Conversations that once felt comforting may now feel empty. Faces that once brought joy may now bring heaviness. Desires that once drove you may suddenly vanish. This is not failure. This is not confusion. This is clarity. This is grace disguised as discomfort. And you must be willing to trust this process, to not resist what is leaving, to not mourn what you have outgrown. If you do not release it willingly, it will be taken. And if it is taken while your hands still grip it tightly, the separation will feel like suffering. But if you can see it for what it truly is, a clearing, a sacred removal, you will begin to thank life even for the losses, This is the maturity of the soul, to know that not everything you lose is punishment. Sometimes it is preparation, sometimes it is protection, sometimes it is simply the universe answering a prayer you forgot you made. You must look around your life and be honest. What are you clinging to that you know is already dead? What are you feeding energy into, even though it drains you in return? What cycles are you trapped in, repeating again and again, because you fear the unknown? Understand this. The unknown is not your enemy. Your real enemy is comfort disguised as peace. It keeps you warm, yes, but it also keeps you numb, and a numb soul cannot awaken. So life will do what you are afraid to do. Life will remove it. God will allow the collapse not to destroy you, but to cleanse you. Because there are things you have been carrying that do not belong in the next chapter of your journey. You cannot ascend if your heart is full of anchors. You cannot rise if your arms are clinging to the old. And when the day comes, when the wind changes direction and the current pulls away from the shore, you must be light. You must be free. Or you will drown in your own resistance. And I say this not with judgment, but with compassion, because I too have had to learn to let go. I have watched things I loved disappear. I have felt the tearing of ego as attachments were stripped away. I have walked the path of solitude when I wanted companionship, but every time, without fail, what came next was greater. Not greater in comfort, greater in alignment, greater in purpose, greater in truth. It is easy to think that if something hurts, it must be wrong, but pain is not always a warning. Sometimes it is a sign that you are breaking free from something that was never meant to stay. Like a tight rope around the wrist, when it is finally cut, the first feeling is not relief, it is soreness, the mark of what was. But after that soreness fades, the blood flows again, the hand opens again, the spirit breathes again. This is what release does. It does not kill, it restores. So, as this day approaches, begin to look gently, honestly at your life. Ask yourself not what you want to keep. Ask instead, what am I afraid to let go of? That is your clue, that is your teacher. Because behind that fear is your freedom. Behind that resistance is your rebirth. And yes, there may be grief, but understand, grief is sacred. Grief is not a punishment. It is the heart-clearing space for what is to come. The fire burns not to hurt you, but to purify. Do not fear the fire. Do not run from the removal. Do not mourn the falling leaves, because they are clearing the branches for new fruit. Let the season change. Let the divine gardener do his work, and trust that what is removed was never meant to define you. In the Shaolin path, we train not only to build strength, but to dissolve illusion, to pierce through the stories we tell ourselves. And the most dangerous story is this: if I lose this, I will be nothing. No, you are not your possessions, you are not your past, you are not your relationships, you are not even your reputation. You are the awareness behind all of it. You are the one who remains when all else falls away. On June 25, something will fall away. For each person, it may look different. A lie, a pattern, a false identity, maybe even a connection. But whatever it is, do not hold on. Bless it, release it, thank it for its lesson, and let it go. You are not losing, you are shedding. You are not being punished, you are being initiated into a deeper truth, a higher alignment, a clearer path. Let this be your practice in the days leading up. Practice release. Practice loosening your grip. Practice silence, patience, observation. When you feel tension, ask what you're afraid to lose. When you feel anger, ask what you're still protecting. When you feel sadness, ask what's trying to leave. And when you feel peace, even if only for a second, sit with it. That peace is your compass. That peace is your home. You cannot take everything with you. And the truth is, you don't need to. The soul knows how to travel light. It is the mind that insists on carrying everything. But this time, let the soul lead. Let the higher voice speak. Let the divine have its way. Release is not weakness. It is sacred trust. Trust that what leaves is clearing the way for something greater. Trust that what falls is making room for what flies. Trust that even the absence is holy. Let go and rise. A warrior does not wait for the world to recognize him. He does not seek applause for his discipline. He does not announce his strength. A true warrior moves in silence, trains in solitude, and stands in stillness when others run in chaos. This is the way of the silent warrior. And when the time of testing arrives, when the wind of spiritual energy rises and the gate of change swings open, it is not the loud who pass through. It is not the ones who cry out the most, who display their rituals, or who boast of how awake they are. It is the silent ones, the ones who walk with humility, the ones who chose devotion when no one was looking, the ones whose strength was forged in unseen battles. June 25, 2025 is not a date for noise. It is not a time to perform. It is a threshold, a moment when the inner world is measured not by words, but by vibration. And the gate that opens on this day is not visible to the eye. It is opened by alignment. It is opened by readiness. It is opened by silence. You must understand this deeply. There are levels of strength that cannot be demonstrated through muscle or intellect. There is a strength that comes only from stillness, the strength of someone who has faced themselves and did not look away, the strength of someone who has walked through confusion without abandoning their discipline, the strength of someone who has heard the voice of ego rise up, loud and convincing, and has chosen instead to listen to the softer, quieter voice of truth. That is the strength of the silent warrior. That is the one who will not only survive the coming shift, but rise because of it. Many will feel something on that day, an unease, a sense of being pulled towards something unknown. Some will ignore it, some will drown it in distraction, but a few will know exactly what it is, because they've been preparing for it, even if they didn't know the date. Their spirit recognized this appointment long before the mind could name it. These are the ones who have been refining their awareness, who have been training their emotions to obey clarity, who have been replacing reaction with reflection, distraction with discipline, noise with stillness. They have become like still water, deep, calm, undisturbed by surface movements. They are the ones who hear the call, not in words, but in vibration, and when the gate opens, they will already be walking toward it. This path does not require you to announce yourself. It does not demand that you show others how awakened you are. It requires only that you show up with sincerity, that your actions match your words, that your rituals are not empty gestures, but living movements of alignment. It asks you to be honest with yourself, even when it is painful, to listen to silence, even when the world offers endless noise, to choose truth over comfort, purpose over popularity. In the monastery, the loud student is not the one who is most ready. The loud student still seeks validation. The silent one, however, already carries the lesson inside. He walks with light steps. He bows often. He listens with care, because he understands the deeper the wisdom, the softer the voice. And when the true moment arrives, the test, the gate, the trial, it is not strength of appearance that carries you through. It is the strength of what you've built within. You cannot fake this. You cannot borrow it from someone else. You cannot imitate it for recognition. This strength must be cultivated daily, quietly, without needing a stage. And if you have been doing this work, if you have been choosing peace over argument, if you have been returning to your breath instead of reacting in anger, if you have been praying not for signs but for clarity, then you are already on the path. You are already being prepared. The silent warrior understands that energy does not lie. Words can lie, emotions can be manipulated, but vibration is pure. On June 25, your vibration will speak for you. It will not matter what you say, it will matter what you are, what you have become through your daily choices. What you have built in secret, the world may not see it, others may not praise it, but the gate will respond to it. It will open and it will let through only those whose frequency matches the call. And so the question is not, how do I convince others of my growth? The real question is, have I become the person who is ready? Have I learned to remain still in the face of temptation? Have I forgiven where I could have resented? Have I released what no longer served me, even when it broke my heart to do so? Have I honored my spiritual practices, not out of superstition or fear, but out of deep respect for the divine order? These are the silent acts of the true warrior. No one may see them, but they shape everything. It is tempting in today's world to believe that visibility is power, that the one who is seen is the one who is strong. But in the old ways, in the ways of the Shaolin masters and the ancient sages, visibility is not proof of wisdom. The most powerful teachings were given in silence. The most profound transformations happened in caves, in shadows, in early morning rituals, when the world was still asleep. That is where real strength is born. The silent warrior is not perfect, but he is honest. He makes mistakes, but he returns to the path. He feels fear, but he does not obey it. He is not driven by the opinions of others. He listens to the deeper compass, the one within. And that compass is what will guide him when the shift comes. When others panic, he breathes. When others look outside for answers, he looks within. When others ask for guarantees, he accepts the mystery. This is why he is trusted with deeper truths. June 25 will not be loud. It will be subtle, like the breeze before a great storm, like the silence before dawn. And in that silence, there will be a gate. Not made of stone or metal, but of alignment. It will not open with a key, but with presence. And only the one who has become a silent warrior will be able to walk through it, because he is not looking for escape. He is walking toward service, toward deeper purpose, toward the life that was waiting for him all along. The world does not need more noise. It does not need more performers. It needs those who are grounded, still, present. The ones who are not shaken by change because they have become change. The ones who do not seek power but embody peace. The ones who do not lead with ego but with quiet integrity. You do not need to be perfect to be this kind of warrior. You need only to be sincere, to mean what you say, to show up when it is hard, to listen when your pride wants to speak, to rise early, to bow often, to keep your word, to serve something greater than yourself. And on the day when everything shifts, when the invisible gate opens and the world feels uncertain, do not look for light in the sky, look for it within. Do not ask, will someone come and lead me? Ask, have I become someone who can lead myself? Because in the silence of that day, the gate will open only for the one who no longer needs to be asked to rise. Rise not with pride. Rise with presence. Rise in silence.
Congratulations. If you are here, listening to these words, there is already something extraordinary happening in your life. Not tomorrow, not yesterday. Today, this moment, this date, 19 September, is very, very special for you. Why? Because life has placed you exactly where you need to be, with exactly the message you need to hear. There are no accidents. There is a reason why your ears caught this vibration, why your heart leaned closer to these words. Today is not just a day on the calendar. It is a doorway. It is a reminder that destiny whispers, not in noise, but in silence, not in chaos, but in moments like this. Awareness creates miracles. These 3 words, if you truly understand them, can shift the entire course of your life. But the truth is, most people live unaware. They wake up in the morning, and the first thing they do is pick up their phone. scroll through the endless noise of the world, and already their mind is distracted, divided, pulled away from the most essential reality of all, the present moment. And so, their day begins in unconsciousness. They go to work, they drive their car, they speak with others, they eat their food, but they are not really present. They are living, yet not alive. Existing, yet not awake. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine opening your eyes in the morning and becoming aware of the simple fact that you are breathing. Aware that life, without asking anything in return, has granted you one more sunrise. Awareness is a light, and when you shine that light even on the most ordinary act, such as brushing your teeth, drinking a cup of water, taking your first steps, it transforms into something extraordinary. The miracle does not lie outside you. It is not in the money you hope to earn, not in the recognition you want from others, not even in the destination you are chasing. The miracle is already here, hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to notice. You see, awareness is the key that unlocks doors you never realized existed. If you look back on your life, you will see moments where you were rushing, distracted, unaware, and because of that you missed something vital. Maybe an opportunity passed you by. Maybe someone who loved you spoke words you did not fully hear. Maybe your own inner voice whispered, but you were too busy to notice. This is the price of unconscious living. We miss what is precious while chasing what is temporary. But the moment you bring awareness into your life, everything begins to shift. Imagine sitting in silence for just 1 minute, closing your eyes and observing the breath as it enters and leaves your body. Nothing magical has happened in the outside world. The room is the same. The sounds around you are the same. Yet inside, a new space opens. That space is clarity. That space is presence. That space is the birthplace of miracles. Why? Because when you are truly aware, you see reality as it is, not as your distracted mind imagines it to be. Let me tell you a story. There was once a monk who walked through the forest carrying a bucket of water. On his way, the bucket slipped and spilled. Most people would have been frustrated, angry at themselves for being careless. But the monk simply stopped, looked at the spilled water on the ground, and smiled. When asked later why he smiled, he said, "Because for the first time, I truly saw water. I saw its transparency. I saw its reflection of the trees above. I saw the way it soaked into the earth. It was so beautiful, and yet all these years I have been drinking it without noticing. Today I became aware, and today I met water for the first time." This is awareness, to meet life, not through the haze of habit, but through the freshness of attention. And when you live like this, miracles no longer appear rare. They become your daily experience. The miracle of being able to walk when so many cannot. The miracle of a beating heart, pumping without your command. The miracle of a single breath, sustaining you moment by moment. The problem is not that miracles do not exist. The problem is that we are too distracted to see them. We chase after extraordinary events while ignoring the extraordinary that is already happening. Think of it. You carry a universe inside your body. Billions of cells working together in perfect harmony to keep you alive. Yet do you ever stop and give thanks? Awareness allows you to do exactly that. It brings reverence into your life. Reverence for the small, reverence for the ordinary, reverence for what is already here. And when you revere life, life opens itself to you in ways you never imagined. But awareness is not just about appreciating beauty. It is also about recognizing truth. Many of us live unaware of the patterns that guide our behavior. We get angry quickly, we worry excessively, we compare ourselves endlessly, and yet we never stop to ask, why am I doing this? Where does this reaction come from? This is unconsciousness. To be tossed around by emotions without awareness is like being a leaf in the wind, going wherever the storm takes you. But awareness gives you roots. With awareness, you catch yourself in the moment of anger and say, anger is here. Not I am angry, but anger is here. That simple recognition creates distance. And in that distance, you find freedom. The freedom not to react blindly, but to respond consciously. This is why awareness is the seed of transformation. Because you cannot change what you cannot see. Imagine trying to fix a wound on your arm, but refusing to look at it. You will only make it worse. In the same way, you cannot heal your inner wounds without first becoming aware of them. And awareness is not judgment. Awareness does not say, this is good, this is bad. Awareness simply sees. It shines a light. And in that light, healing naturally begins. When I say awareness creates miracles, I am not talking about magic tricks. I am talking about the miracle of becoming whole. The miracle of seeing your life as it is, and in that seeing, finding peace. Let us take a simple example: eating. Most people eat while distracted. They are talking, watching a screen, thinking of tomorrow. They put food into their mouth, chew, swallow, but they do not taste. Yet when you eat with awareness, you truly taste. You notice the texture, the flavor, the effort of the earth, and the hands that brought this food to your table. Eating becomes meditation. Eating becomes gratitude. And what is the miracle here? The miracle is that something as ordinary as a meal becomes nourishment, not just for the body, but for the soul. Now imagine applying this to every aspect of your life. Walking with awareness, so that every step connects you with the earth. Speaking with awareness, so that your words carry clarity and compassion. Listening with awareness, so that you truly hear, not just the sound of words, but the silence between them. This is how awareness creates miracles, by transforming the mundane into sacred. But do not think awareness is something far away, something you must travel to a monastery to discover. It is already within you. Right now, as you listen to my words, become aware of your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Notice the sound around you. Notice your posture. Already awareness is here. It has always been here. The only question is, will you remember it? Or will you allow yourself to forget again in the noise of daily life? There is a story of a disciple who asked his master, "What is the secret of enlightenment?" The master replied, "When you walk, walk. When you eat, eat. When you breathe, breathe." The disciple was confused and said, "But I already do these things." The master smiled and said, "No, when you walk, you are already thinking of your destination. When you eat, you are already thinking of tomorrow's problems. When you breathe, you are not aware of breathing. To truly walk, to truly eat, to truly breathe, that is awareness. That is enlightenment. This is the essence of what I wish to share with you today. Awareness is not something extraordinary. It is the return to what is most natural. And yet, in its simplicity lies its power. Because when you live aware, your life changes. You no longer waste time chasing illusions. You no longer drown in regret of the past or fear of the future. You live fully here, in this moment. And that is where all miracles happen, in the now. Think of your relationships. How many arguments arise not because of real conflict, but because we were not truly listening? If you listen with awareness, you hear not just the words, but the heart behind the words. You feel the emotion, the unspoken longing, the hidden pain. And when someone feels truly heard, healing begins. This is the miracle of awareness in relationships. It creates bridges where there were walls. Think of your work. How often do you rush through tasks just to finish, without awareness of what you are doing? And then you wonder why the work feels empty, why you feel drained. But when you bring awareness into your work, even the simplest task becomes fulfilling. Washing dishes, writing an email, walking to the store. If done with awareness, each act becomes meditation. And when life becomes meditation, you no longer seek miracles, they unfold naturally. Now you may ask, how do we cultivate awareness? The answer is simply by practice. Awareness is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Begin with small things. When you wake up, before reaching for your phone, take 3 conscious breaths. When you drink water, notice the coolness on your tongue. When you speak, pause for one moment before words leave your lips. These little practices plant the seeds of awareness. And as you nurture them, awareness will grow into a tree that shades your entire life. But remember, awareness is not about perfection. Do not strive to be aware every second. That striving itself becomes another distraction. Instead, be gentle. When you forget, simply notice that you forgot and return. Return again and again. This returning is awareness. This humility is awareness. And as you practice, something profound will happen. You will begin to see that awareness is not just within you. It is the very fabric of existence. The universe itself is aware. Life itself is awake. And when your awareness meets universal awareness, you experience oneness. You realize you were never separate, never alone. The miracle is not that you awaken. The miracle is that you remember you were awake all along. So, today, on this very special day, 19th of September, I invite you to take awareness into your life. Do not let this day be ordinary. Let it be the day you opened your eyes, not just to the world outside, but to the world within. Let it be the day you tasted water for the first time, felt the breath for the first time, listened for the first time. And then, let this day expand into tomorrow, and tomorrow into the rest of your life. Awareness creates miracles. And the greatest miracle is this: when you live with awareness, you no longer wait for life to become special. Every day, every hour, every breath becomes special. And then, you realize it was never about the calendar. It was never about 19th of September being special. It was about you becoming aware. And when you are aware, every date, every moment, every heartbeat is holy. The power of letting go is one of the greatest lessons life can teach you. Yet it is also one of the hardest for the human heart to accept. From the day we are born, we begin to hold. We hold on to the warmth of our mother's embrace, onto the comfort of familiar places, onto toys, onto friends, onto dreams. And as we grow older, we begin to hold even tighter. We hold on to our possessions, our identities, our titles, our relationships, our memories, our fears. Holding becomes a habit. It feels safe, as though by clinging we can stop time, control life, and prevent loss. But life is not built for holding. Life is a river, and rivers flow. When you try to hold the water in your hands, it slips through your fingers no matter how tightly you close them. This is the truth we must learn. Not to dam the river, but to flow with it. Letting go does not mean indifference. It does not mean you stop loving, or stop caring, or stop valuing what is precious. It means you stop attaching yourself to things as if they must remain forever. Because nothing remains. Everything changes. Seasons change, bodies change, people change. The very thoughts you are having right now will change. If you fight this truth, you will suffer. But if you embrace it, you discover a freedom beyond measure. Think for a moment about all the weight you are carrying. Regrets about the past, expectations about the future, resentments that live quietly in your chest, unspoken but heavy. Fears that whisper at night when you try to rest. Do you realize how much of your life force is being consumed just to carry these things? And yet, when you look closely, you see they are not tangible. You cannot hold them in your hands. They exist only in the mind. The moment you decide to release them, they vanish like smoke. The burden is not real. It is created by clinging. There was once a story of two monks walking together on a journey. They came to a river where a woman stood, unable to cross. One monk, without hesitation, lifted her up and carried her across the water. He set her down on the other side and continued walking. Hours passed in silence. Finally, the other monk, disturbed, said, "Brother, why did you carry that woman? We are monks. We must not touch women." The first monk smiled gently and said, "I put her down hours ago. But it seems you are still carrying her." This is the power of letting go. How often do we carry what no longer exists? A word someone spoke years ago, a mistake we made long ago, an opportunity we think we missed. We carry them not on our backs, but in our minds, replaying them endlessly until they weigh more than stones. Letting go means finally setting them down. On this day, this 19 September, a day that life itself has whispered to you as very, very special, I invite you to ask yourself, what am I still holding that no longer serves me? What thoughts repeat in my head that keep me tied to yesterday? What fears keep me from stepping into tomorrow? What attachments make me blind to the gift of this moment? Letting go is not loss. Letting go is liberation. Imagine standing in a forest with your hands full of stones. You wish to pick up the flowers around you, to gather the fruit from the trees, to feel the softness of the earth. But you cannot. Your hands are full. Only when you drop the stones can you receive the gifts of the forest. Life is the same. If your hands and heart are filled with yesterday's weight, how can you receive today's blessings? How can you embrace tomorrow's opportunities? To let go is to empty your hands so that life may fill them again and again. Many people fear letting go because they think it means weakness. They think it means surrender, defeat, losing what they value. But true letting go is the opposite. It is the courage to trust life. It is the courage to say, I release control, because I know life has a rhythm greater than my understanding. It is the wisdom to see that everything has its season, just as flowers bloom and fade, just as the sun rises and sets, just as the tide comes in and out. To let go is to live in harmony with the natural law of impermanence. Let us reflect on relationships. Sometimes we hold on to people not because they belong in our lives, but because we fear loneliness. We stay attached to friendships that have grown toxic, to partners who do not truly see us, to communities that no longer nourish us, because the thought of letting go terrifies us. But by holding on, we block the path of growth. By holding on, we prevent the right people from entering. Have you ever noticed that when you finally release someone who was draining you, a new energy enters your life? This is not coincidence. It is the law of space. You cannot invite new light into a room filled with clutter. You cannot invite new love into a heart filled with attachment. To let go is to create space, and in that space miracles can arrive. Letting go also applies to success and failure. Many people define themselves by achievements. They hold tightly to titles, positions, victories of the past. But what happens when the title is taken away, when the crowd stops applauding? If your identity is tied to what you achieved, then losing it feels like losing yourself. That is why awareness of impermanence is so important. Success comes, success goes. Failure comes, failure goes. Neither is permanent. Neither defines who you are. You are not the wave that rises and falls. You are the ocean that remains. When you let go of identification with success and failure, you find peace. Do not mistake this for passivity. Letting go does not mean you stop striving, stop dreaming, stop acting. It means you strive without clinging. You dream without attachment. You act without demanding a certain result. This is freedom. A warrior swings his sword with full strength, but when the battle ends, he lays it down. He does not carry it forever. In the same way, you give your best to life, but then you release the outcome. If it succeeds, good. If it fails, good. You remain steady because you are not holding on to either. Think also about your inner fears. So many of us hold tightly to fear as if it protects us. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of change. But look closely, and you will see that fear is just a story. It is the mind imagining what has not yet happened. To let go of fear is to realize that the present moment is always safe. Right now in this breath, nothing is attacking you, nothing is collapsing, nothing is lost. Right now, you are safe. Fear belongs to an imagined future. By letting it go, you return to reality, and in reality there is peace. Letting go also means forgiveness. Perhaps you hold anger towards someone who hurt you. You replay their actions in your mind, fueling resentment. But every time you do this, you drink poison and expect the other to suffer. Forgiveness is not about excusing their behavior. Forgiveness is about letting go of your own suffering. It is cutting the chain that ties you to their shadow. When you forgive, you are free. And freedom is the greatest power. To let go is to trust. Trust that life knows what it is doing, even when you do not. Trust that endings are beginnings in disguise. Trust that loss is not punishment but transformation. Think of a tree in autumn. The leaves fall, and for a moment the branches are bare. If the tree resisted, if it tried to cling to its leaves, it would suffer endlessly. But by letting go, it prepares for winter, and in time, for spring. New leaves grow, new life blossoms. So too with us. The things we lose are often preparing us for something greater. On this 19th of September, ask yourself, what leaves are you still holding? What has life already told you to release, but you continue to cling to out of fear? This is your invitation to trust the seasons of your life, to let the leaves fall so that spring may come. The power of letting go is not only in what you release, but in what you discover after releasing. You discover lightness, you discover peace. You discover that life is not a burden to be carried, but a dance to be lived. Imagine walking with a heavy backpack for years, filled with rocks you do not need. Then one day, you put it down. Suddenly, every step feels effortless. Suddenly, you can breathe deeper, walk farther, see clearer. That is what letting go feels like. And the truth is, you have the power to put it down at any moment. You do not need permission. You do not need the perfect time. You only need the courage to unclench your fist and open your hand. The moment you do, life rushes in. So, when I say the power of letting go, I mean the power to live free from the chains of yesterday, free from the illusions of tomorrow, free from the attachments that blind you to this moment. I mean the power to walk lightly, to love deeply without clinging, to act boldly without fear, to embrace change without resistance. I mean the power to trust life as it flows, knowing you are not here to control the river, but to flow with it. Remember this: what is meant for you will not pass you by, and what passes you by was never meant for you. Letting go is trusting that truth. And when you trust it, you no longer live in desperation, you live in peace. So today, let 19th of September be the day you release. Release the anger, release the fear, release the burden, release the story. Stand empty-handed and watch how life fills you with more than you could have imagined. This is the power of letting go. This is the key to freedom. And when you are free, life itself becomes a miracle. Your struggle is your teacher. At first, these words may sound uncomfortable, even unfair, because struggle is the part of life we often resist the most. When we are in the middle of pain, when obstacles stand in our way, when challenges surround us, the last thing we want to believe is that this difficulty has something to offer us. We would rather wish it away, escape it, or replace it with comfort. Yet, if you look closely, you will see that the deepest growth of your life has always come through struggle, not in spite of it, but because of it. Think back to a time when life tested you. Maybe it was a loss, a failure, a broken relationship, a health challenge, or a time when you were alone and uncertain. In that moment, it may have felt unbearable. You may have asked, why me? Why now? What did I do to deserve this? But now, looking back, do you see how it shaped you? How it carved strength where weakness used to live? How it taught you patience where you once rushed? How it gave you compassion because you now understood pain in a way you never had before? This is why struggle is your teacher. Because lessons that comfort cannot teach, struggle whispers in silence. Imagine a sword. If it is left untouched, it remains dull. To sharpen it, it must be pressed against the stone, over and over, creating sparks, creating resistance. The steel resists, but through that resistance it becomes sharper, stronger, more capable. In the same way, your character is shaped not by ease, but by resistance. Without struggle, you would remain dull, unaware of your true strength. It is only when life presses against you that you awaken the hidden sharpness within. We often pray for an easy life. We say, "Let me be free from problems, let everything go smoothly, let nothing disturb me." But an easy life does not create a strong soul. The bamboo that grows in calm weather is fragile, but the bamboo that bends in storms without breaking becomes resilient. Struggle bends you, yes, but it also shows you that you cannot be broken. You discover flexibility. You discover endurance. You discover that beneath the surface of your fear and pain lies an unshakable core. Your struggle is not here to punish you. It is here to teach you. And the teaching is always about discovering who you really are beyond appearances. Many people walk through life wearing masks, pretending to be strong, pretending to be confident, pretending to be in control. But when struggle comes, the masks fall. What remains is the truth. And it is only when you see the truth of yourself that you can grow. There was once a student who asked his master, "Why is life so hard? Why must there be so much suffering?" The master took him to the blacksmith's workshop. There, the blacksmith was heating a piece of metal until it was red hot, then striking it again and again with a hammer. The student watched as sparks flew and the metal slowly began to take the shape of a sword. The master said, "Do you see? Without the fire and without the hammer, this metal is useless. But with fire and with the strike, it becomes something strong, something valuable." Life does the same to you. Do not curse the fire or the hammer. They are shaping you. In your struggles, you may feel the fire, you may feel the hammer, but what is really happening is transformation. The self you thought was weak is being melted away. The strength you never knew you had is being forged. Struggle is not your enemy. It is the forge in which you are created anew. Look also at nature. The seed must struggle to break out of the soil. If it does not, it will never reach the light. The caterpillar must struggle within the cocoon, pushing, tearing, fighting, until it emerges as a butterfly. If you were to help the butterfly by cutting the cocoon open, it would die, because it is the very struggle of emerging that strengthens its wings to fly. Do you see? The struggle is not a barrier, it is the preparation for flight. So too, the struggles of your life are preparing you for a transformation you cannot yet see. When you begin to understand this, something shifts. You stop asking, "Why me?" and you start asking, "What is this teaching me?" You stop resisting and start listening. And when you listen, you discover wisdom hidden within the pain. Maybe your struggle is teaching you patience, because life is asking you to slow down. Maybe it is teaching you compassion, because until you walked through pain, you could not understand the pain of others. Maybe it is teaching you courage, because only by facing fear do you realize you are stronger than it. Your struggle is your teacher. And like any great teacher, it will not always give you comfort. Sometimes it will test you until you want to give up. Sometimes it will ask you to carry weight that feels too heavy. Sometimes it will take away what you thought you needed, only to show you that you are more than what you lost. But in the end, when the lesson is learned, you will not curse the teacher. You will bow to it in gratitude, because you will see that without it, you would not be who you are today. There is a practice in martial arts where the student is pushed to their limits, not to break them, but to reveal to them that their limits are further than they believed. When the muscles burn, when exhaustion comes, when the mind says, "I cannot," that is the moment the teacher says, "One more." And in that one more, the student discovers a strength they did not know they had. Life works the same way. When you are ready to give up, life whispers, "One more step, one more breath, one more try." And when you take it, you expand. You discover you are capable of more than you ever imagined. It is easy to see the gift of struggle in hindsight, but the challenge is to see it while you are in it. Right now, if you are facing difficulty, it may feel like darkness. But remember, the seed is also in darkness before it grows. The diamond is buried in the earth before it shines. The gold must be purified in fire before it gleams. Struggle feels dark because it is a process of becoming. Do not mistake the process for the end. What feels like breaking is often reshaping. When pain comes, sit with it. Do not run, do not hide, do not numb it away. Sit, breathe, and listen. Ask, what are you here to teach me? And if you stay long enough, you will hear an answer. Sometimes the answer is subtle. Sometimes it takes years to reveal itself. But the answer is always there. Struggle never visits without carrying a gift. And yet, most people run from it. They drown it in distractions, in pleasures, in denial. But when you run, you must run forever, because struggle will always find you. The way forward is not escape, it is embrace. To say, yes, I accept this moment. Yes, I will learn. That acceptance is not weakness, it is strength. It is the strength of a warrior who bows before the battle, not in defeat, but in respect. Because the warrior knows that the battle will teach him what peace never could. So, what is your current struggle? Is it a health challenge that forces you to take care of your body? Is it a financial struggle that teaches you the value of simplicity? Is it a relationship struggle that calls you to communicate with truth? Is it an inner struggle that awakens you to your spiritual path? Whatever it is, know that it is not random. Life does not waste pain. There is purpose woven into every challenge. The greatest mistake is to believe that struggle means you are unlucky or forgotten. The truth is the opposite. Struggle means life has trusted you with growth. Just as a teacher gives the hardest lessons to the student who is ready, life gives struggle to the soul that is prepared to expand. If you were not ready, it would not come. This is not punishment, it is preparation. Remember this, the lotus grows only in muddy water. Without the mud, there is no lotus. Without struggle, there is no blossoming of the soul. The mud is not beautiful, but it is necessary. And when the lotus blooms, no one looks at the mud, they admire the flower. But the flower knows, without the mud, I would not exist. In the same way, when you bloom, others will admire your beauty, your strength, your wisdom. But only you will know it was the mud of my struggle that made this possible. So do not curse your struggle, thank it, bow to it, learn from it, and carry its lesson forward. Because once the lesson is learned, the struggle no longer controls you. It becomes a memory, a story, a source of strength. You move forward not as a victim of difficulty, but as a student who has graduated. And when the next struggle comes, you will not fear it. You will say, welcome, teacher. I am ready to learn again. On this day, this special 19th of September, let this be the moment you change your relationship with struggle. No longer see it as an enemy. See it as a guide. No longer ask life to take it away. Ask life to show you what it means. And in this shift of perspective, you will find freedom. Because the struggle may remain, but the suffering will lessen. Suffering is not in the pain, it is in the resistance to the pain. When you accept, the pain may remain, but peace flows alongside it. And perhaps the greatest miracle is this: when you look back years from now, you will realize that your greatest struggles gave birth to your greatest gifts. The wound became wisdom. The pain became purpose. The challenge became compassion. The darkness became light. And in that realization, you will smile with gratitude. Because you will see the truth of these words: your struggle was always your teacher.